So, we're going to have a look at some decimals over the next few days. But first of all, let's think about what we know about place value already. Here I have a number, 3,728. We know we can split that into different parts. We know that this 3 is in the thousands column. I know that the 7 is in the hundreds. We know that the 2 is in the tens. We know that the 8 is in the ones. The value of the 3 is 3 thousands, or 3,000. I know the value of the 2 is 2 tens, or 20. Yeah. I know there are 3 thousands, 700s, 2 tens, and 0 ones. So I could say 3,000, add 700, add 20, add 8. I could do that in some different ways. I could do that as 3,700, add 28. I could do that as 2,000, add 1,720, add 8. There are many different ways of doing that. Okay, but we're going to look at decimals now. We're going to think about what happens when a number is smaller than 1. Here is my 1. And we've got a pound. A pound is worth 1. Yep. Now, we can split a pound up into parts of 1. I can split it into tenths. If I split it into tenths, I get 10 pence coins. There are 10 in a whole. 10 10-pence coins make £1. Because there are 10 of them, each 10-pence coin is worth 1/10. So if I had 3 10-pence coins, I'd have 3 tenths, or 0.3. If I add that, if I split this £1 coin into 100, I'd have 100 pennies. I'm not going to drag 100 pennies out because we don't have that much time. But because there are 100 pennies in a pound, they're worth 1/100th of a pound. I'm splitting that pound into 100, and what I get is 1/100th. Okay, if I had 2 pennies, it would be 2/100ths. If I had 13 pennies, it would be 13/100ths. Okay, we're going to remember what we talked about coins because we can think about that using that later. Okay, think about what that place value looks like. Well, if I have a number, I've got 3.72. This point is a decimal point. We've seen it before. This is where it stops being a whole number. Anything less than this is part of a whole. It's part of 1. So the 0.72 is less than 1. It's smaller than 1. So we know the first column here, the one after the one just before the decimal point, is ones. Wholes. Yeah. Next to it, we have, think about our 10-pence coins. Okay, this is where we would have our tenths. So we can write it as a fraction or write the word tenths. Or we could just write a little, oh, I've lost my pen, little t. Capital T for anything before the decimal point. Capital letters for before the decimal point, little letters for after. The 2, so we've got our ones, our tenths. Now we have a hundredths. And we can say hundredths. Or we can say, use it as a fraction, hundredths. Or we can use the little h for hundredths. Yeah. So in this number, I have 3 ones, 7 tenths. I could say 7 tenths, or I could say 0.7, or I could say 7 tenths as a fraction. For the hundredths, I could say I've got 2 hundredths, or 0.02. Look at the place value. We've got no ones, no tenths, and 2 hundredths when we're just looking at the 2, or 2 hundredths. So let's have a look at this. So here I have, how many wholes have I got? I have 7 ones. I have 6 tenths, or 0.6, and I have 3 hundredths, or 0.03. If I think of it as pennies, this could be the same as being, if I wanted to make it all out pennies, 3 pence, add 60 pence in pennies, add 60 pennies, add 3 pennies, add 700 pennies, that'd be 763 pennies, or 763 hundredths altogether. Or I could have it in 10 pence coins. I'd have 70 10 pence coins to make the £7, and 6 10 pence coins to make the 6 tenths, and then 3 1 coins left. So I'd have 76 10 pence coins and 3 1 pence coins. Or I could have 763 1 pence coins, or 7 pound coins, 6 10 pence coins, 300 hundredths. That way. Here I've got 19.34. How could I partition this? So let's think about what it is first. So I've got 1/10, so that's 10. I have 9. I have 3 tenths, which is 0.3. I have 4 hundredths, which is 0.04. Let's think of how else I could partition this. I could have 19 add 0.34. I could have 19.04 add 0.3. I could have 10 plus 9.3 plus 0.04. It's really important to keep those placeholders in. We talk about tenths and thousandths if we need them. Okay, remember what this means. 1/10, 9 ones, 3 tenths, 4 hundredths. Or you can partition it in different ways as well. We have 0.46, which is, and I've split it up here. So I've got 4 tenths and 6 ones. So I could say it's 0.4 add 0.06. But there's different ways of doing it. I could do it so I've got 3 tenths and 3 hundredths, and 1/10 and 3 hundredths. So I could say I've got, this would be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. So here I have no ones, 3 tenths, 1, 2, 3, and 3 hundredths. So 3 in hundreds column. What have I got here? Got 1/10. Oh, sorry, 0 rather. 1/10 and 3 hundredths. So 0.33 and 0.13. I could do it in a different way. I could have, what do I have here? 1, 2, 3 tenths. So I could have 0.3, that's 3 tenths. Add, how many tenths have I got here? So I've got no holes, 1/10. So 0.1, and how many hundredths have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hundredths. So 0.3 and 0.16. I could do it in a different way. I could put it in 3 groups. I could have 2 tenths here. How do I write 2 tenths? I write it as 0.2. How do I write, and 2 more tenths? 0.2 and 6 hundredths. How do I write 6 hundredths? Well, 6 hundredths is no ones, no tenths, and 6 hundredths. So there are many different ways I could partition that.